All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Gambling Feud Twitter page, to YouTube, whatever you're watching on. We are here to reveal the Gambling Feud Elite 8 Twitter contest. We're ready to roll. DJ, we've had 31 guests on this show, and it's been a lot of fun. But now it's time. We're going to reveal our bracket. We're ready to roll. How you feeling, DJ?
I mean, we had an entire regular season, like you said, 31 guests on, and now it's time for the big show. It's time for the main event, and I think everyone's hyped for it. I think it'll be fun. It's going to be a lot of math for us. We're going to be adding up a lot of units, but it'll be super fun just to watch how it breaks down and maybe get some live betting lines on who will win. Maybe live betting lines during the week. This person, the one seed's now a 1,000-point underdog, and then they hit a crazy parlay, and now they're 1,000-point favorite. So it'll be cool, and it's just a good group of guys, honestly. So I'm super excited, and yeah, I really can't really put words to it. It's just this is the final four, or the Elite Eight. It's the big show. It's main event. It's time to go. We need Bruce Buffer to come in here and, ladies and gentlemen, do his little thing. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I'm excited. We've been hyping this up all year long, from our very first guest picker, Josh Campbell, all the way to our very last guest picker and Potato Gobbler. I mean, we've been having so many great guests on, but I know the people listening, DJ, they don't want to hear us talk. They just want to see the bracket. So you know what? Let's get to it. But before we do, I want to reveal to everyone who the first four out. These four people just barely missed the cut, but we wanted to give them just a really, really quick shout out here. So the one who just missed the cut, was DJ's cousin Alex Luch at plus 3.77 units. DJ, any thoughts about this?
That was a good podcast with him on. We had some funny stories. We were laughing, and he did well, but just not well enough, I guess. I mean, it's good to see a familiar guy on the number 9 spot, but yeah, I'm sure he'll be ready to battle back next year with whatever we decide to do.
Yes, absolutely. I still laugh at his story about breaking that tractor with what was it, like a rock or a baseball, or what was it?
Yeah, it was a rock, but he was doing a pickoff move. Yeah, he was doing a pickoff move to first, and he just off the tire right into the window. Yeah, it was an all-time Luch Farm story. Classic Luch Farm, a classic day at Luch Farms right there.
Absolutely. So Alex, sorry you didn't make it, but again, it was great having you on the show. Right behind Alex, we got me and DJ's cousin Brody Carr at plus 3.74 units. That was a while ago, DJ, but just thoughts about having him on the show at all?
Yeah, no, it was good to get him on. And yeah, obviously represent the fam, and he did well. And that dude's he's always boots on the ground. I swear he's at an Iowa game all the time. And I got him on Snapchat. I love watching his story. Like, he's just a fun guy. He's a really good guy too. He's really means well. So yeah, no. What about you?
Yeah, no, it was great having him on, and got married actually before or after our show went out. So congratulations to him and Ashton on that. And yeah, it was great having him on, and hopefully we can get him on again here next year.
Yes, sir.
All right behind Brody, we have Preston Feller at plus 2.42 units. DJ, I know you're a lot closer with Preston than me, so what were your thoughts about having him on the show?
Oh man, this is my dog. I love this guy. He's such a great guy. He's just really nice and just a funny guy all around. One of the nicest dudes I've ever met. And yeah, no, it was good to get him on. He didn't do as well. He's not as experienced as some other guys, but he came on, gave it his best try, and we'll for sure have to get him on later.
Yes, most definitely. And yeah, he was one of the most humble and nice dudes I think I've met too. So I was really glad to get to know him, and you couldn't see it because we obviously the voice recording with the podcast, but he was smiling like the entire time. Like, that dude was awesome.
Yes, sir. Spot on right there, Kyle.
And then to round out our first four out, we got DJ's cousin Lucas Parker. If you listen, obviously you all listen to our show, but he is the songwriter and artist of our intro song Locks on Locks, and he finished plus 2.39 units. So what are your thoughts on that, DJ?
We had to get the artist on. He produced a banger for our intro song, and we got him on. And he's a semi-experienced gambler. He's been gambling almost as long as I have, and he gave it his best effort. Just things didn't go his way, but he still did well. He finished positive. He made money technically. And yeah, no, it was good to get him on. He's just a funny guy. That dude lives life. I mean, He was down in Tampa Bay for the Lightning winning their Stanley Cup. He was down there for the Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl. And then next thing I know, this dude's in Milwaukee for the Bucks. I'm like, this guy just goes everywhere. This guy just follows championships. So no, he's an electric snap story guy to have because he's always doing some crazy stuff. So yeah, gotta love it. Gotta respect another cousin on the other side. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So shout out to these four. You didn't make the cut, but we both appreciate having you guys on. And yeah, hope to have you on next year. But DJ, this is it. We are ready to roll here. This is it. So this is going to be crazy. We're going to go through each person one by one and just go through the matchups and just talk a little bit about them. So DJ, without further ado, the number 1 overall seed in the Gambling Feud Elite 8 Twitter contest, Tyler Paulson, a Lamar's legend, finishing 16.99 units. As I said, he resides in Lamar's, Iowa. He was graduated with me at Lamar's community. He was on the Iowa Class 3A all-tournament basketball team where he led Lamar's community to a runner-up finish at the state tournament. On our contest, he did okay the first time, but he came on as a wild card and finished 7-1 with his only loss being Auburn money line against Texas A&M. So DJ, number 1 overall seed, Tyler Paulson, what are your thoughts?
He earned it. He came on and he lit it up. He's just a funny guy to have on. Like, he's just a good guy. Laughter all around. He's got good stories. Like, very relatable, very personable. I loved having him on the pod. He was a good guest for sure. And he lit it up, and I'm excited to see what he can do. And as the number 1 seed, he's got a lot of hype, got a lot of pressure. So we'll see how he does. But yeah, I'm sure he's smiling right now. That dude's always smiling and just having a good time. So yeah, no, it's good to have him on. Yes,
absolutely. Great. Went to elementary school with him and all the way through college. I went to college with him as well, all 4 years, and just great dude. Glad to have him on. And yeah, congratulations, Tyler. You are the number 1 overall seed. Now, the question everyone's asking, who are you going to be facing off against? Well, another Lamar's legend as the 8th seed, Tyler DeVos, who finished plus 4.38 units. For those of you that don't remember Tyler, he is the co-founder and COO of Muddy Bites, which is a company that makes specifically the end of the champ cone, the best part of the champ cone, in my opinion. It's being sold at a lot of big box stores, and it's being sold more than some major companies. So if you haven't bought it, muddybites.com. I'm going to do a plug right now. I think Paulson, when he was on, said like he buys like tons of boxes and just can't stop eating. I mean, those things are absolutely delicious. So again, Muddy Bites co-owner. And then when he was on the contest, this was a long time ago, but when he was on the contest, he finished 3-2 with his only losses being to Granada soccer money line. And then he had the under in the Penguins Capitals game. And in that third period, they scored 6 goals. So, I mean, he had a tough look there. But I mean, DJ, what are your thoughts about our 8 seed, Tyler DeVos?
First off, this is just a wild matchup. I bet Paulson and DeVos are just geeked up right now. They get a square off first match, like 1 versus 8. This is hilarious. It's just wild how the bracket ended up turning out there. I can't even believe it. But no, yeah, Tyler DeVos. I mean, dude, Money Bites is blowing up. I mean, I wish I could buy stock in it, but you can't because it's a private company. And getting Tyler on the pod, him talking about Shark Tank, like he was a great guest to have on too. I mean, he just had a lot of cool insight. And then he was just very funny, relatable guy. We're still waiting for our free bag of Money Bites, Tyler, but no worries. But no, yeah, it was awesome to have him on. I think it's just hilarious, and it's also just crazy that these two are squaring off. I'm sure they're going to be smack talking each other all week on the text, and it'll make that even more fun for them, which is going to be cool too, just to see them smack talking. And then whoever wins, obviously, is going to have the bragging rights. And yeah, no, it's all respect and all love between those two, and I think that's just going to be fun and exciting. But yeah, you're kind of 2 of your dogs, 2 of your boys. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
This is going to be an electric matchup. I mean, these two. So Tyler actually transferred to Lamar's from Storm Lake, so he wasn't at Lamar's all the years that we were at community. But I mean, these two played basketball with each other for 1 or 2 years, I think. So this is going to be an electric matchup. But no, I love Devo. He's great dude, and I appreciate the hell out of his grind with Muddy Bites and stuff like that. I'm really excited for this matchup. I think this is going to be a very close matchup because I think these two like each other and are going to push each other to do the best they can. And obviously they both agreed that we'll share their picks. So They might just add units the more that each other add units, but this could go either way, this matchup. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yes, sir. Well said.
But let's continue. Let's stay on this end of the bracket and let's reveal the 4 seed, Alex Long, finishing plus 10.6 units. For those of you that don't know, Alex is a big time UFC fan. He's on the co-host of the High and Inside podcast of the network. You'll occasionally see him on the Throwing Bows podcast, which is the UFC podcast. And he's also a classmate of Coda Capper's DJ and Josh Campbell and Jacob Thompson. He was a classmate with, so he's really, really well known at the network. When he was on the show, he went 5-1 with his only loss being a 5-unit loss when he took the Pelicans -2.5 against the Heat. But DJ, what are your thoughts about Mr. Long here?
Yeah, no, this is my dog. I mean, I lived with him 2 years in college, my junior and senior year. We met. He lived next door to me freshman year. I mean, this dude, we just vibed right away on sports and gambling and just life in general. And he lit it up. He's a UFC specialist. He's also, well versed in the NBA. He's dabbling in the NHL. He knows a little bit about. He knows a good amount about the NFL, and he's just well rounded. And yeah, he can really provide some electricity. And yeah, he's an honorary Coda Capper. Like, he's not technically one of us, but he has a podcast on the network, and he's very actively involved with a lot of the Coda Cappers. So it's he's got a little bit of beef with B-Ross, which would have been hilarious if we could have had them matched up. But yeah, no, it'll be good to see him. And yeah, well represented at the 4 spot. I think he was one of the earlier ones, which I think those are always super impressive to light it up early and then stay on the board. But yeah, no, I expect big things out of this guy.
Yes, absolutely. And he was the number 1 seed. He was the number 1 in the contest for a long, long time. I think he till August or September, he was the number 1 seed. So he held on to it for a long time, slid down to 4, but I mean, plus 10.6 units. I can't knock him for that. But the dude's a great dude. He's been on Gambling Feud a couple times. I love listening to the High and Inside podcast with you guys and Jacob. So yeah, I'm really excited. But DJ, I know you're going to geek when you see this. And I know the people at home are going to geek when he's going to see it, because who is Alex going off against week 1 in round 1? The 5 seed, Josh Campbell, plus 8.1 units. For those of you that don't know, Josh was the very first guest picker on the show who really kind of set the tone for how guest pickers should be on the show. He instantly became a Coda Capper following his stint on the show, and just he's been electric ever since he's been with the Coda Cappers. I know everyone at the Cappers loves him, so he's just a great overall dude. When he was on the show, he went 5-1 with his only loss being Iowa State men's basketball plus 14.5 against Kansas, because I'm pretty sure he said, what is the public betting? And we said Kansas. He said, give me a unit on Iowa State is what he said. So I know you got a lot of thoughts about him, DJ, but what are your thoughts about Josh Campbell?
Yeah, I mean, electric is the only way to describe this dude. He came on the first podcast and he's just himself, which is electric. And then, yeah, the CEO Pace was like, we got to get this guy on the network. And then pretty soon, you guys all got to meet him, and now he's heavily involved in the network. That dude, I swear he's tweeting every 10 seconds. I mean, that guy just gets the tweets off. But no, I mean, great guy, electric guy, and he knows his sports, and he's a seasoned gambler. I mean, he showed both me and Alex Long the ropes of gambling, so that's pretty cool. And just a great matchup too. It's similar to the Paulson DeVos matchup. Like, both these guys, went to college together. They're both, great buddies. Both great buddies of mine, and they get a matchup week 1. I know they're going to be smack talking. They're going to be, battling. They want to win more just to brag to the other person. Not they don't even want to win the contest. They just want to win this first week just to stick it to the other person and have the bragging rights. So that is another great matchup. That left side of the bracket has 2 insane matchups. And yeah, I can't wait for that. That is going to be really interesting. And if Soup wins, everyone's going to hear about it. And if Al wins, everybody's going to hear about it. I mean, either way, they're going to let the world know that they beat the other one. And I'm all for it. I love it.
There's going to be a lot of Twitter beef between these two. I can already tell with this. It's going to be a lot of fun. But no, just Soup's become not only a great capper and a great asset to the network, he's become a really good friend to me. I've gotten to know him really, really well. We play game pitching games all the time on our text, and he's very known for that. But he's just a good dude who, like, when I'm down in the dumps, is good to kind of lift me up and stuff like that. So I'm really, really glad I got to meet him through Gambling Feud and through, Pace's Pace's wedding and stuff like that. But yeah, really, really glad he's on it. But man, that left side of the bracket, DJ, I mean, just about anybody could win that.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, those are 4 guys who are seasoned, and like I said, that first round for both of those guys is going to be almost more, or for all 4 of those guys, is going to be more important than that second round. Like they want to win the first one just to smack talk, just have bragging rights. But then the second round, it's like, all right, now we have a chance of like getting to the finals. So then the second round is going to be important, but it just won't have the same as they don't know the other person. But that first round is going to be electric. I mean, all those guys are electric, honestly. So yeah, I'm super excited for that. And yeah, Josh will be tweeting it out, and I'm sure he'll have a bunch of caps, and yeah, he's going to be all over it. So that's exciting.
Yes, absolutely. So that's going to do it for the left side of the bracket. DJ, I don't know where your and I faces are, but you might want to move it here if it's up in the corner. I know mine is.
I switched mine from the right corner to like the left corner, I guess, or
Okay.
left mid side. I don't know who controls it, so we'll just see. I guess
We're gonna see what happens. But I move mine too just in case. But well, let's get to the right side of the bracket here, DJ. Again, 2 really, really good matchups. Let's just get right to it. First up on the matchup is the 3 seed, Pace Meyer, the CEO of the Coda Sports Gambling Network. He started the network with Brandon Russell, who everyone knows really, really well, in December of 2020. And they dropped the very first episode of Mount Lockmore, the Mount Lockmore podcast, on January 4 of 2021. So a little bit before, probably about a month before me and DJ joined the network, they were dropping podcasts and stuff like that. So on the show, he went 4-1 with his only loss being the under in the Dodgers Astros game of 8.5 was the only game that he lost. But DJ, what are your thoughts about the 3 seed and our CEO Pace Meyer?
If anyone deserves to be in this spot, it's him. He works really hard. He does so much for the network, and he's just he's a good guy. He means well, and he's just always like, you text him at any point in time, he's always replying. He's always on the Twitter. He's always working. He's always grinding, and just so it's such a positive dude. He's a good guy, and he lit it up. He came in, he said, I'm doing 5 units each play, and he lit it up, and he deserves this. So I'm excited to see what the CEO could do. He's got to represent. He almost has more pressure than anybody else. Like the CEO of the brand, he's got to represent. So we'll see how he does. I know he's as seasoned as anybody, so he'll be well experienced, and I'm sure he'll have some in the weed plays. But if anyone's good at in the weed plays, it's Pace Meyer.
That's absolutely true, and he's a very, very humble individual, and he'll always say, like, the network is because of all the people at the Gambling Network, which is true, but it's very, very much because of Pace and just the grind he does to get like our sponsorship for our show. Like that was all on him. Like me and DJ got a microphone from him. I mean, he just grinds, man. Even like on the day of his wedding, he's tweeting out people's cards. It's like, dude, you're getting married and you're tweeting out cards and stuff like that. Like when he was on the honeymoon, he was posting vlogs and stuff like that. It's like, absolutely respect the hell out of Pace's grind.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no. If everyone was grinding like Pace, everyone would be just rolling in it, because he's just lighting it up. He's got the grind. We'll say that. And we met his dad and his mom, and they're great people. So yeah, it makes sense. The math adds up.
Yep, not too far from the tree he is.
Yep, exactly.
But I bet everyone's wondering, who is Pace taking on? He's taking on the 6th seed, Von Fluchoke, at plus 6.76 units. So about Mr. Von Fluchoke, after starting the Throwing Bows podcast with Brandon Russell, he recently joined the network for UFC content. He's been getting a little bit to college football and college basketball, but he's very, very much our UFC guy. He's also a big fan of pretty much every team in Ohio. We're talking about boots on the ground. I mean, Von Fluchoke has boots on the ground at a lot of places. But when he was on the show, he went 6-3 with his only losses being the Mets, Red Sox under 9, the under in the Notre Dame, Wisconsin game, and the Chiefs minus 6.5 against the Chargers. So, DJ, what are your thoughts about Mr. Von Fluchoke?
I'm not going to say his real name, but I do know it, but I'm not saying it. But Von Fluchoke, he's a great guy. I talk to him almost daily, honestly, just about random stuff. And he's just always positive. He's the youngest dude at the network. I don't want to reveal his age, but he is the youngest guy. And he's got so much energy, and he's just funny, and he's always good vibes, and he knows his stuff too. Like he knows his sports, he knows his UFC. He knows, the definitely Ohio sports. He knows he's got those down pat and boots on the ground. I mean, this dude's been everywhere. Minnesota game. He went to the UFC 260, whatever. And yeah, this dude's been a lot of different games. He's been to a couple Browns games, I think. And yeah, all around great guy. And hopefully we can get him to come to Des Moines, or we're gonna meet him in Minneapolis sometime, because I'd love to party with this dude in real life. So yeah, that's a great matchup right there. I know there'll be some smack talk, as obviously both those guys are texting each other. And yeah, I'm excited for that. So I don't know who to even pull for this. Do I pull for the CEO? Do I pull for Von Flucho? I'm just hoping for a tie, which I have no idea what we'll do if somebody ties. But
because you're team Von Fluchoke in the Von Fluchoke versus B-Russ battle, aren't you?
Yeah. So initially I was legally obligated to be team B-Russ, but then Dan, another capper, found a loophole in my contract. And so I was able to renegotiate. And the High and Inside boys, me, Alex Long, and JT, we're all team Von Fluchoke. We've had him on the pod a couple times, done a couple collabs with him. Like we are team Von Fluchoke through and throughout. So yeah, we're loyal. He's our dog. He's our guy.
Yes, sir. So that's going to be a great match between those two cappers. I mean, those two are going to go at it on Twitter too. I got a good feeling about that. So that's going to be really, really exciting. But this last matchup, BJ, probably a little more under the radar matchup, but I can still see this matchup being really, really electric. So let's get right to it. The last two in our Elite Eight contest, the 2-seed DG Betts finishing plus 13.25 units. So DG is based out of Indiana, and he's a big sports analyst. He has a wide multitude of fandoms, including the Clemson Tigers. He's also, if you go to the website at www.codasportscappers.com, he's posting blogs on the daily. Fairly soon, I've been told he's going to start a show. So, I mean, this dude was absolutely probably one of the guys that we didn't know going into the show, but one of the funnier guys we've had on the show. I mean, the dude is very, very funny and definitely knows his stuff. When he was on the show, he went 7-1, with his only loss being the Red Sox money line against the Astros in the ALCS, which I feel bad for, because I know me and DJ were big on the Red Sox as well. So DJ, what are your thoughts about DG Betts?
Yeah, like, I mean, you said we really didn't know him too well, but he has just hit the ground running when he joined the Cappers. I mean, he lit it up on his bets. He was hitting so many bets. Like, this dude was just on fire picking them, not even for the contest, just the ones he'd tweet out, and then all the blogs and stuff he's doing. And then just at the end of the day, he's just a great guy. He was super funny. We were laughing, we were geeking, like, super relatable. And yeah, he knows his stuff. He knows his sport. So this is a very, maybe not as well known 2-seed, but this guy is he's gonna do well. That's all I'll say, because I've been following his plays. He's been lighting it up, and like I said, maybe not as well known, but maybe an underdog in that sense of he might not be getting any hype, but this dude's gonna light it up. He's for sure my underdog, who I think could really run the tables, even though he's a 2-seed, which is weird. But like I said, we just didn't know him, and now we do, and he's a great guy, and yeah, so I'm excited for him.
Yeah, he's an underdog. It's a 2-seed, which sounds crazy enough, but like he's not like he tweets quite a bit, and like you see that and stuff like that, but he's not like outspoken like a bunch of the cappers at the network are by any stretch of the imagination. But like he like under the radar hits bets like no other. I mean, this dude knows his stuff, so he's gonna be sneaky in the contest. But DJ, he's gonna have a little bit of a challenge, because who is the last person in the contest? It's Pumbaa Cakes at plus 5.6 units. So he was a classmate at North Dakota State with the CEO, Pace Meyer. He was also a best man at Pace's wedding, so we really got to know him well there. He is a big Minnesota Twins fan and a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And just overall, like, talk about like a good first impression. He made an awesome good first impression with me. Just so funny, just great guy, easy guy to talk to. Quite the dancer too, I must say, DJ. But that's another story for another time. But on the show, Pumbaa went 4-2, with his only losses being the Royals Angels over 9 and the Red Sox money line against the Mariners were his only 2 losses. But what are your thoughts about Mr. Pumbaa Cakes here, DJ?
Yeah, so originally we did the trivia contest, so I just saw him during that, and like he didn't obviously like talk much because you're only giving answers. I didn't really get to see much of his personality. I didn't really know who he was. And then we met him up in Minnesota, North Dakota, Minnesota area. Dude, this guy is so funny. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. He's just got the best personality. Like, oh yeah, I love this dude. He was awesome and he was hilarious. Yeah, he's a great guy, and he's been around he's been around the sports world. He knows a lot of different sports, and he's very well versed in kind of everything that's going on. So I know he'll have some good plays. But yeah, all around, just a hilarious dude. So much personality, and yeah, this guy's awesome. That's all. I really can't describe it. Like you just got to know him. I don't know. You just have to meet him, and then you understand. Like, oh, that's Puma. Like, yeah. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's a great overall dude. Great to get to know him, and he's done an amazing job of filling in for B-Russ on the Mount Lockmore podcast. If you're big listening, if you don't listen to that, you should definitely check that out on Spotify and Apple Music, the Mount Lockmore podcast. But yeah, he's done a great job with that. But just overall, DJ, looking at the bracket, as you can see, we got 4 really, really explosive matchups. I can see all 4 of these guys just talking all 4 of these matches talking mad crap on Twitter with each other. What's just your overall thoughts about this bracket?
This is crazy how this bracket lined up, I guess, because like of the 4 matchups, 3 of them, there's going to be some mad smack talk. Like they're going to be trash talking each other in a respectful, like, it's not like disrespectful in any way, but they're going to be smack talking. And then obviously like DG Betts is very reserved. He just hits bets. That's all he does. Doesn't do a lot of talking, just hits bets. And then Pumbaa's, a little more like he'd give Pace shit. Like if him and Pace were matched up, if they both won, then he'd give him a ton of shit, talk a lot of smack. But with just going up against DZ, I don't think he'll talk as much. But the other 3 are going to be, it's going to be a lot of smack talk. It's going to be wild. This bracket literally kind of worked out perfectly, in my opinion.
Yeah, it absolutely did. Just going through everyone like Tyler Paulson, Tyler DeVos. I mean, these 2 known each other since high school. I mean, that like you want to talk about a rivalry. I mean, that's just crazy. A-Long and Josh, those 2 have known each other since college. Like that's going to be a fun. If you don't follow Alex Long or Josh Campbell on Twitter, you need to, because I guarantee you that's going to be an electric round 1 between those 2. And then Pace and Von Fluchoke, again, have known each other fairly recently. They actually just linked up last weekend, from what I've been told. But they're ones not to talk too much crap, but the fact that they're faced up with each other, they're going to talk a lot of crap, I got a feeling. And then DG and Pumbaa, I don't think it's going to be a lot of trash talk, but maybe who knows? Maybe they'll do a little DM trash talk, so it's not actually on their Twitter, but it's in their DMs. We'll have to see. But no, a great first matchup. I mean, I know, DJ, we know all 8 of these guys really, really well. Any like lower seeds? Let's look at the lower seeds for a second. Any lower seeds that you think could surprise some people?
I guess like Von Fluchoke at a 6 seed is pretty deadly. Pumbaa can hit some crazy parlays. If we're considering Josh at the 5, maybe, but yeah, I would say probably Von Fluchoke or Pumbaa are going to be my 2 lower seeds that I think could run the tables. But really, it's anybody's game. What about you?
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking the same. Going to Tyler DeVos first and foremost. If he didn't have that horrible bad beat in that hockey game, I mean, he'd be a top 4 seed. So I mean, this dude knows what he's doing, and I think he's going to do a really, really good job, and he's going to be very dedicated with it. But I also think, I think the other 3 lower seeds could also upset too. So there really isn't going to be an upset, because I think all 8 of these guys can bet. But obviously, like DJ and I have no interest in this, but so we're going to make this as clean as possible. We'll tweet all the bets out, because every single one of them have given us permission to tweet their bets out. So you'll see everyone's bets and their unit. Maybe we won't tweet the units. We'll discuss that, but you'll see everyone's bets for sure. So be sure to check out the Twitter page at Feud Gambling. But yeah, just any final thoughts, DJ, before we dive into the rules?
No, I mean, this is, like you said, anyone could win this. I could see, 8, 5, 6, and 7 making to the final 4, like all upsets. And at the same time, I could see 1, 2, 3, 4 making it. Like it really can go any way. It's going to be wild. It's so unpredictable. It's really who gets hot. It's kind of like March Madness. It's literally just like March Madness. Like whoever gets hot, whoever has a good week and just starts lighting it up, they're looking good. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. But yeah, what about you? Thoughts on this?
This is gonna be electric. I'm so excited for this. But so this is for the rules for the 8 competitors who haven't really seen the rules yet. So let's dive into that real quick. So let's just look at the schedule real quick, because I know a lot of people I've had people already sending me picks that know they're going to be in the Elite Eight contest. Doesn't start yet. So round 1 will start this Sunday, December 5th, and it'll run through December 11th. So your pick Saturday will be included in round 1. So understand that. Then after that, round 2 will be obviously the next week, and the 12th through the 18th. And then the championship match will be the 19th through the 26th, because there's a lot of games going on around Christmas time. So that'll be good. So that's the schedule for the contest. It is a single elimination contest. When you lose, you are done. That is the rule for that. It is a winner take all prize of $200. So I don't know about you, DJ, but if we had an opportunity to just compete for $200 without having to pay anything, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, just bragging rights alone is really what these guys are competing for, especially in at least, 3 of those first 4 matchups. So it's, yeah, I mean, the cash prize is going to be sweet for them, but I mean, just saying you're number 1, I think will be good enough to get these guys motivated. So yeah, I'm expecting big things.
Absolutely. So games are, when you're on the show, and those of you that have been on the show know this, that me and DJ choose the games, but now the games are completely chosen by those participating in the contest. They choose their games. They can choose the units they want to put on the game. We do have a rule that you need to have a minimum of 10 units placed throughout the week. We don't want someone hitting like a 1 unit parlay for 8 units. Oh, that's good enough. No, you got to place at least 10 units per game. So that is the rule as far as that goes. Each play, you can have a max of five units, but you can do multiple plays for multiple games. So if you really like a spread and you really like an over-under enough, you want to put 5 units on both, absolutely can. So that's the rule on that. Please do DM the Gambling Feud Twitter page for all your picks. That don't text me or DJ, because we want an accurate record in the same location in case there's like a dispute or anything like that. So if you would, please DM the Gambling Feud Twitter page your picks. And I believe, oh yeah, and every single day we'll update how the matchup's going. We'll kind of ask the people following along what they think. But yeah, that's pretty much it. DJ, final thoughts on the Elite Eight contest? Anything you want to add to the rules at all?
Yeah, just a quick disclaimer for why we have 5 units per play. If you're down 30 units going into the last day, like what prevents you from throwing just 100 units? If you win it, then you're up. But if you lose, then you were going to lose anyway. So like by only allowing 5 units per play, it kind of prevents that. Like you have to sustain success over the week. You have to consistently, win bets over the week. And I think 5 units is plenty to do it. Like if you like a bet, 5 units is a game changer if you can hit that. So I don't think that's, it just prevents someone on the last day sending up, 100 unit bet on a minus 500 team and winning, 50 or 20 units or whatever it would be. So I think that's a great rule to put in. And yeah, we'll have a clear record of the DMs and when they DM'd them, timestamps, and we'll be able to put it into an Excel sheet that we got all ready to go. And we'll update the standings daily. And on Saturday, the thing is, like, Saturday is the best day to like have it be the final round, because that's college football. So you can go all in. You can have 50 units on the line if you have 10 different plays, or no, it'd be 10 different plays. So yeah, it's gonna be wild. I think it's set up very well, and it'll be interesting to see how everyone does. And like I said, I'm just hyped, and we'll see how I really don't know what's gonna happen. So it's like, yeah, we're just gonna see, I guess.
Yeah. A lot of stuff could happen, and we can we'll see what happens. And another thing too, and the reason like why we're asking you guys to DM the Gambling Feud Twitter page is we don't want there to be a deal where like it's really, really close, and then we got someone coming to us to saying, oh, I put 5 units on this. No, you didn't. You put 3. You DM'd us right here, and then we have proof of it. So we want to me and DJ, our hands are clean. We have no financial interest in this whatsoever. This is basically just us two enjoying the heck out of it, producing this, but we have no interest in it whatsoever. We know all 8 of these guys. We want all 8 of these guys to win. We're not favoring one over the other. So I just want to throw out the disclaimer. right now, me and DJ, our hands are clean this entire time. We'll have proof of everything if there's ever a dispute.
Yeah, there's no collusion. There's no did Toast look at his screen gate. I know there's none of that. There's no muckiness. We're gonna keep it very simple. They'll DM us, like 2.2 units to win 2 or whatever. Like they'll have the odds because you have to have the minus, 110, minus 120, whatever it is. They'll lay that all out for us. We'll have it all. I mean, it'll be very clear cut. And then may the best capper win. And then obviously like next week's show and stuff like that, we'll update, we're down to our final 4. This is who we got, do a quick update, quick plug for that. And then just kind of keep you guys updated, and then we'll hype up the championship and then, yeah, winner gets paid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So like I said, starting this Sunday, if you are in the Elite 8 contest, DM the Gambling Feud Twitter page. We will tweet out your picks, and we'll go from there. But may the best capper win. That's going to do it for the bracket reveal show. And if you're listening to the podcast, the Gambling Feud podcast, tune in next week, and we will keep you guys updated on it. But yeah, check out the Twitter page, and we'll see you guys soon.
Deuces.
Yeah.